I was picking up my granddaughter from school when I noticed something was off. She got into the car and just sat there quietly. She wasn't upset. She wasn't angry. She just looked empty, like the spark inside her had dimmed. She's 15. I asked her how her day went. She shrugged. I asked if something had happened. She said no. Then after a long pause, she asked me a question I haven't stopped thinking about since. "Grandpa," she said, "does it ever feel like nothing you do really matters?" My name is George. I'm 87 years old. I've lived long enough to see the world change again and again. I've lived through wars, financial collapse, loss, regret, and moments I wish I could redo. And that question shook me, because I've asked myself the same thing many times. The only difference is this: she's standing at the beginning of her life. I'm standing near the end of mine. And somewhere between those two places, I've learned something worth sharing. We live in a time where everyone is chasing significance. People want to be seen, remembered, applauded. They believe that if their name isn't known, their life doesn't count. But after nearly 9 decades on this earth, here's what I know. The things that matter most usually feel unimportant when they're happening. I once knew a woman named Margaret. She lived a few houses down the street for over 40 years. She was a school teacher, never married, no children of her own. She taught the same grade, in the same school, her entire career. When she retired, there was a small gathering. No big celebration, no spotlight, just polite applause and a thank you plaque. A couple of years later, she passed away. At her funeral, the church was full. People stood along the walls. One after another, they shared stories. A man said she was the first person who believed in him. A woman said Margaret taught her to read when no one else would try. Another said she became a teacher because of her. Margaret never tried to change the world, but she did. She showed up. She paid attention. She cared. And the impact of her life is still moving forward through people she never even met. We misunderstand what it means to matter. We think it means being famous, influential, admired by crowds. But real life doesn't work that way. Life is built from quiet moments between people. A small kindness at the right time. A conversation that eases someone's pain. Being present when it would be easier not to be. These moments don't feel powerful. They feel ordinary. Years ago, when I was struggling, financially, emotionally, I found myself sitting in my car outside a bar, debating a bad decision. A man I barely knew knocked on my window and asked if I wanted coffee. That was it. No advice, no lecture. We talked about nothing important, and somehow, that was enough. I went home instead of going inside. That man probably forgot that night. But it changed mine. That's how mattering works. You rarely get proof. You rarely get credit. Most of the time, you'll never know the effect you had. My wife used to write letters, real letters. I used to tease her for it. After she passed away, I found boxes of replies from people who said her words carried them through difficult years. She wasn't trying to be remembered. She was just reaching out. And that mattered more than she ever knew. Here's what I wish someone had told me when I was young. Your life doesn't need to be extraordinary to matter. Trying to be exceptional all the time exhausts people. It makes them believe their everyday efforts are meaningless. But the world is held together by ordinary people doing quiet, decent things. Parents caring for children, friends checking in, people doing honest work, showing kindness when no one is watching. That's the foundation of everything. If you want to know whether you matter, don't look at numbers or recognition. Look at the people right in front of you. Are you present? Are you patient? Are you kind when it's inconvenient? That's where meaning lives. When my grandson was little, he was terrified of water. Every day for weeks, I stood beside him at the edge of the pool. I didn't rush him. I didn't push. Eventually, he learned to swim. He doesn't remember that summer, but I do, because I know that staying mattered. As you get older, you realize that status fades, achievements blur, titles disappear. But people remember how you made them feel. They remember being seen. They remember being supported. They remember that you showed up. So here's my answer to that question. Yes, what you do matters. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. It matters in patience, in honesty, in small acts of care. Your life doesn't need to impress the world. It just needs to be real.